Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sports Dom coming back with another video. And so the Buffalo Sabres sweep the Minnesota Wild. They win the two games. We beat them on November 10th in Buffalo 3-2. And now we beat them on February 17th in Minnesota 3-2 in overtime this time. So Minnesota gets a point, but the Buffalo Sabres get them much needed 2 points. An overtime victory for the Buffalo Sabres, and all the goals, all 5 goals, well, all 4 goals to take it to overtime came in the third period, and then the 5th goal came in overtime. So both meetings, we beat them 3-2, but this time was in overtime. We beat them in Buffalo 3-2 in regulation on November 10th, and now on November 17th. At the XL Energy Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, we beat the Minnesota Wild 3-2 in overtime. So, let's recap this right now. Here we go. Pay attention, because I'm only going to go over this once. Goals: Buffalo 3, Minnesota 2. Shots: Sabres 28, Wild 32. Block shots: Buffalo Sabres 10, Minnesota Wild 8. Hits: Buffalo 15, Minnesota 18. Faceoffs: Sabres 28, Wild 28. Power play goals: Sabres 0, Wild 1. Penalty minutes: Buffalo Sabres 8, Minnesota Wild 6. So, like I said, both meetings were 3-2, won by Buffalo. This one in overtime. So Minnesota gets a point. But we get the much needed 2 points. So no scoring in the first period, no scoring in the second period. But in the third period, 39 seconds in, the Minnesota native, Buffalo's Casey Middlestat, his 13th of the season, assisted by Henri Jokiharju, his 8th. And it's 1-0 Buffalo. And then at 4:02, it was Minnesota's Joel Eriksson Ek, his 25th of the season, assisted by Kirill Kaprizov, his 31st of the season. And it's a 1-1 game. And then at 11:21, his first career goal and his first of the season, assisted by scored by Minnesota's Declan Chisholm, his first of his career, first of the season on the power play, assisted by Johansson, his 17th, and Rossi, his 16th, and it's 2-1 Wild. And then at 19:23, in his return to Minnesota, the first time, actually this is the second time he played his former team since being traded, but the first time returning to Minnesota since being traded. At 19:23, it was Buffalo's Jordan Greenway, his 9th of the season, assisted by Tage Thompson, his 15th, and Rasmus Dahlin, his 28th. And after 3, it's a 2-2 game. And then in overtime at 1:29, it was Buffalo's Henri Jokiharju, his 3rd of the season, assisted by Alex Tuch, his 22nd, and Tage Thompson, his 2nd of the game, his 16th of the season. 3-2, Buffalo wins in overtime. Just like on November 10th, we beat them 3-2, but in regulation in Buffalo. So we sweep the Minnesota Wild. And like I said, both of those wins were 3-2 Buffalo, both them games. And penalties in the third period at 7:37, it was Buffalo's Connor Clifton, double minor for high sticking. So he got 4 minutes for high sticking. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your hockey game. 3-2. Buffalo wins it in overtime. Now we get ready for the Anaheim Ducks on Monday. That is a 12:30 Eastern game, 11:30 Central, which is my time. 11:30 a.m. So that's an early game. So I'm going to do my preview early, and hopefully I'm up to listen to this hockey game. But we want revenge on the Ducks. We got we got to um, win that game, win 2 in a row again, um, and we got shut out by Florida on Thursday 4-0. So it was nice to win this game in overtime. Now we want revenge against the Anaheim Ducks. They beat us the first time they played us in Anaheim. The Anaheim Ducks come in at 19-32-2. The Buffalo Sabres come in at 24-26-4. And after Anaheim, then we get at Montreal and at Columbus. We could win both of those games. So hopefully we could go on a 4-game winning streak. But they haven't won more than 2 in a row yet this year. So I'm hoping. But, you know, we've already beaten the Montreal Canadiens this year. We've beaten Columbus this year. Carolina, that's a tough one. Florida, that's a tough one. And at Tampa Bay, that's a tough one too. Vegas, we know we can beat them because we beat them in Vegas 5-2, and then we get them at home to begin March on March 2nd, and then March 3rd we play the Winnipeg Jets, another tough team. So hopefully we can start winning games. We haven't been able to win more than 2 in a row yet, so I'm thinking we beat Anaheim in the matinee game on Monday. Like I said, that is an 11:30 a.m. game, my time. 12:30 p.m. Eastern, an afternoon matinee at KeyBank Center in downtown Buffalo. So, the Buffalo Sabres win 3-2 over the Minnesota Wild in overtime, get the sweep. Henri Jokiharju was the game winner today. Casey Middlestat, Jordan Greenway, and Henri Jokiharju were the goal scorers. And I'm going to go back to that November 10th game, and I'm going to look and see who scored our 3 goals, because both games we beat them 3-2. In that game, Henri Jokiharju had a goal in that game too. It was Jokiharju, Jeff Skinner, and J.J. Paterka were our goal scorers in that game. And then Joel Eriksson Ek had 2 goals in that game. Or no, I'm sorry. Kirill Kaprizov was a goal scorer in that game, and Joel Eriksson Ek was their other goal scorer. Both goals came on the power play. So Henri Jokiharju scored in both games against the Minnesota Wild. He got his 2nd goal of the season against Minnesota, and now he gets his 3rd of the season against Minnesota. So he got his 2nd and 3rd goals against Minnesota. So, what a win. They had to come from behind, but they did. What a win. And, you know, Jordan Greenway, it was nice to see him go back to Minnesota and score a goal against his former team. Casey Middlestat, of course, you know, he's a Minnesota native, so it was kind of his hometown as well, and he got a goal in his hometown. And then Henri Jokiharju, you know, what a trade that was. We got him from the Chicago Blackhawks. So I was happy at the time, and I'm still happy that we got him as a defenseman. Henri Jokiharju. He doesn't score much, but he scored in both goals against Minnesota. And you know that's good. He's got 3 goals this year, And like I said, both games against the Minnesota Wild, the Sabres won 3-2. So guys, comment in the comment section below on what you think. And as always, if you like my videos, like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any videos that I upload. Stay tuned for my Arizona Diamondbacks video. They signed Randall Grichuk, and I'm going to make a video on that after I do this one. So comment, like, subscribe. Go Sabres. What a win. Get ready for Monday against the Anaheim Ducks. And this time, in our building, we will quack you. Go Sabres. Beat the Ducks.